Welcome to Rome Cash, where we don't just travel, we time travel through tales. Today, we're diving into the colorful soul of Catalonia, Barcelona. But this isn't your average checklist. We're guiding you through 20 must-visit gems in perfect proximity order. So whether you're on foot, a rental scooter, or just dreaming from your couch, this guide flows as smoothly as Spanish sangria on a breezy afternoon. Barcelona isn't just a city, it's a storybook where every street corner whispers centuries-old secrets. So get ready to unravel tales woven through cobblestones, castles, and the wildest architecture your eyes will ever see. And hey, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe, or risk missing the next city that might just steal your heart. We begin our journey in Barcelona's southwestern heartbeat, Plaza de España, a monumental square so grand it feels like a portal into a different era. Originally designed for the 1929 International Exposition, this plaza isn't just Barcelona's second largest square. It's a massive confluence of architecture, movement, and mood. Towering Venetian towers greet you at the entrance, as if ushering you into some grand parade of history. Fountains glisten in the sunlight, traffic whirls around like a choreographed dance, and pigeons scatter as street performers entertain flocks of tourists. But don't rush. Stand still for a moment. Look around. To your left, the once bloody bull ring of Arenas de Barcelona is now a trendy mall, a symbol of the city's ever-evolving identity. To your right, the grand stairway leads toward Montjuic. And at your feet, cobblestones worn smooth by a century of footsteps. Did you know? Beneath this very plaza runs a complex network of metro and commuter rail lines, a hidden spiderweb carrying Barcelona's pulse. As you soak in the energy, remember, this is more than a place to pass through. It's the prologue to everything that's about to unfold. Head northeast, just 300 meters, a casual 5-minute stroll, and you'll find yourself walking along the Avinguda de la Reina. Maria Cristina, named after the queen consort who once walked these lands in the 19th century. This wide boulevard is like a red carpet for Barcelona's soul. It stretches dramatically between the Venetian towers and the magic fountain, flanked by lampposts like sentinels. But what really makes this place special is its atmosphere during twilight. On festival nights, especially during La Mercè or New Year's Eve, this avenue transforms. Fireworks burst overhead, the magic fountain below dances to music, and crowds roar in unison. It becomes less of a street and more of a celebration. And if you're here on a quiet morning, you'll hear the soft hum of sprinklers, the coo of doves perched on lampposts, and perhaps the distant sound of a violinist rehearsing near the museum steps. Locals use this path to jog, to daydream, or to meet a date by the fountain. It's one of those places where life flows, both literally and poetically. Follow the flow 500 meters uphill, and suddenly you're standing before the Museo Nacional d'Art de Catalunya, the MNAC, a palace-like crown jewel perched on Montjuic's slope. This museum is more than a collection of Catalan art. It's a journey through time, war, love, faith, and rebellion. Inside, you'll encounter ancient Romanesque frescoes, lovingly relocated from rural churches to preserve them. Gothic altarpieces gleam with medieval devotion. And Catalan modernism, it explodes in color and chaos here. Paused by the massive dome. Now imagine, this very building was constructed for the 1929 World's Fair. It once housed temporary exhibits. Today, it holds eternal stories. Walk through its rooms, and you might meet a school group marveling at a 12th century Madonna, or a couple sketching quietly in the corner. You might even bump into a professor giving a passionate tour in Catalan. Outside, don't forget the view. The museum's steps are a secret balcony to the city. Stand there during golden hour and the skyline becomes a canvas. Sagrada Família. Peeking through the haze, Tibidabo in the distance. The grid of Eixample stretching forever. Continue southwest, about 1.7 kilometers deeper into Montjuïc's hill, and you reach the Montjuïc Castle, a silent guardian overlooking the city and the sea. Built in 1640 and later expanded into a military fortress, this castle has witnessed centuries of turbulence, from the War of the Spanish Succession to the Spanish Civil War. It once served as a prison, and some say its stones still echo with the voices of the past. Today, though, peace reigns. As you cross the drawbridge and step into the courtyard, you'll notice the scent of wild rosemary in the breeze and the sound of wind brushing against old cannons. From the ramparts, the view is mesmerizing. The glittering sea to one side, the city's sprawling chaos on the other. Here's a story. In 1940, Luis Companys, the president of Catalonia, was executed right here, making the castle not just a fortress, but a place of memory. Tourists wander quietly, often surprised by how emotional the site feels. Some bring wine and sit at the lookout. Others sketch, and many simply stare out to sea, wondering what Barcelona must have looked like centuries ago. Now descend from the hill, either by cable car or winding trail, and head 2.5 kilometers northeast. You'll know when you've arrived. Las Ramblas doesn't whisper, it sings. This boulevard, stretching from Plaça de Catalunya to the waterfront, is the heartbeat of the city. A tree-lined promenade flanked by cafes, kiosks, florists, street artists, and living statues. You'll hear the rustle of newspapers, the clink of espresso cups, the clap of flamenco shoes on pavement. Walk down slowly. Let the chaos embrace you. Stop at La Boqueria Market. Step into its mosaic-tiled entrance and get hit with the fragrance of fresh fruits, spices, and sizzling seafood. Try a fresh mango smoothie, or grilled octopus, or churros, dipped in thick chocolate. On your left, Teatre del Liceu, Barcelona's historic opera house, once burned down, now reborn like a phoenix. On your right, hidden courtyards and tapas bars that only locals know about. At night, Las Ramblas changes skin. Neon signs flicker. Laughter spills from terraces. Musicians strum guitars under the street lamps. It's touristy, yes, but it's also timeless. A chaotic, colorful, unforgettable stretch of life. A gentle detour off Las Ramblas, just a 2-minute walk west, and you'll stumble into a hidden world wrapped in palms and golden light. Plaza Real, or the Royal Square. It's the kind of place that feels like it was carved out for film sets and flamenco dreams. The moment you step into the open square, the city's noise melts into a rhythm of clinking wine glasses, low jazz from a street guitarist, and the slow swirl of a Spanish fan in someone's hand. The arcaded walkways around you? Home to bars, clubs, and timeless taverns. In the center, 2 lampposts catch the eye. Look closely, they were designed by a young Antoni Gaudí, long before he dreamed up Casa Batlló or Sagrada Família. Yes, even here, greatness was brewing. There's always something happening in Plaza Real. A mime freezes in mid-prayer. A waiter expertly balances 5 plates of tapas. A toddler chases pigeons. Sit at a terrace cafe. Order patatas bravas. And a local vermouth. Time bends here. You could easily lose an hour just people watching under the Mediterranean sun. At night, the square transforms again. The laughter gets louder, the shadows deeper, and the vibe more electric. It's old, Barcelona soaked in soul and sangria. Walk just 100 meters north, and the modern world fades into whispers of the Middle Ages. Welcome to the Gothic Quarter, or Barri Gòtic, a living labyrinth of narrow alleys, hidden courtyards, and stone walls that seem to breathe history. These streets have seen Roman, soldiers march, medieval bishops pray, and 21st century influencers strike poses. You'll pass 2,000-year-old Roman columns tucked inside apartments, tiny candlelit chapels, and balconies overflowing with bougainvillea. Each cobbled lane tells a story. One might lead you to an artist sketching in Plaça Sant Felip Neri, where a tragic bomb once fell during the Civil War. Another might end in a tiny bookstore selling only poetry. And another, straight into a wine bar where locals argue about Barca's latest game. Listen closely. The silence here is layered. Footsteps on stone, the distant peal of a cathedral bell, a violin echoing through an archway. Even the air smells different. A blend of incense, aged stone, and espresso. This isn't just a neighborhood. It's the old soul of Barcelona. And it invites you to slow down, get lost, and fall in love with the forgotten. Keep meandering about 300 meters deeper into the Gothic Quarter, and you'll see her rise, the glorious Catedral de Barcelona, officially known as the Cathedral of the Holy Cross and Saint Eulalia. It doesn't shout, it soars. Its spires pierce the sky as if calling heaven down into the heart of the city. Built over centuries and from the 13th to the 15th, the cathedral is a Gothic masterpiece standing on even older Roman ruins. Step inside, and the cool hush envelopes you. Sunlight filters through stained glass, casting colorful prayers across the stone floor. Look up. Vaulted ceilings stretch into eternity. Look down. A crypt holds the remains of Saint Eulalia, a 13-year-old martyr who defied Roman rule. Now walk out to the cloister. You'll hear honking? No, those are geese. 13 of them, to be exact. One for each year of Saint Eulalia's life, forever kept in the garden of the cathedral. Only in Barcelona does holiness come with a soundtrack of honks. Climb to the rooftop, and you'll see the old and new city merge. Terracotta rooftops, glass towers, and the glinting Mediterranean beyond. Up here, the city feels small, sacred, and strangely silent. Now it's time to breathe in the sea breeze. From the cathedral, head 2 kilometers southeast, winding past Port Vell until the horizon opens, and welcome to Barceloneta. Once the humble fishing village of Barcelona, today it's a beachside. Barrio soaked in salt, sun, and sizzling sardines. The streets are tighter, the laundry's louder, and the spirit, pure Mediterranean. Here, kids ride bikes barefoot, abuelos play cards under awnings, and the scent of grilled calamari drifts. From every corner, the beach just steps away. Golden sands stretch wide, surfers catch lazy waves, and bronzed locals play beach volleyball like it's a religion. Try a bomba, a spicy meat and potato tapa invented right here. Or order paella de mariscos at a seaside restaurant as the sun dips low. Just be careful. One bite, and you might move here forever. As twilight falls, Barceloneta buzzes. Families take sunset walks, musicians serenade with Spanish guitar, and the W Hotel looms in the distance, its glass sail glinting like a beacon of modern Barcelona. Here, the city ends, and the sea begins. Wave goodbye to the beach and head 2.4 kilometers north into the Eixample district. A world of wide boulevards, iron balconies, and one surreal dream carved in stone. Casa Batlló. This isn't a building. It's a fairy tale hallucination brought to life by Antoni Gaudí in 1904. Locals call it the House of Bones because of its skeletal balconies. Others call it the House of the Dragon because its scaly roof resembles a sleeping beast. Whatever you call it, you've never seen anything like it. The facade ripples like water, colors shift in the sunlight, balconies bloom like petals. And inside, curved walls, spiral staircases, and stained glass that dances when light filters through. Not a single straight line, not one boring corner. Gaudí believed nature had no straight lines, and so neither should buildings. Here, architecture becomes poetry. Did you know? Every floor of Casa Batlló was custom built. No two rooms are the same. Even the vents breathe differently. It's a building that feels alive. At night, it glows like a jewel box, and tourists gather below, necks craned, hearts stilled, wondering how one man dreamed this into being. Only a 6-minute stroll north from Casa Batlló, and you'll find yourself standing in front of a building that looks like a wind sculpted, mountain frozen mid-breath. Casa Milà, also known as La Pedrera, or the Stone Quarry. This was Antoni Gaudí's last civil work, and perhaps his most radical. There's not a single straight line in the facade. The undulating stone waves, the wrought iron balconies twisted like seaweed. It feels like something nature grew, not something man built. But it's not just beautiful. It's a quiet rebellion. When Gaudí designed this for the wealthy, Milà family in 1906, the neighbors hated it. They mocked it so much that newspapers called it La Pedrera as an insult. But Gaudí didn't flinch. He was creating the future. They just didn't see it yet. Step inside, and you're inside a living sculpture. The central courtyards feel like underwater caves. And the rooftop? It's a surreal playground guarded by chimney sentinels that look like warrior masks. Some say they inspired Star Wars. Others say they're guardians of imagination. From up here, the Ike sample grid spreads out like a tapestry, precise, rational, in total contrast to Gaudí's wild spirit. It's a view of two Barcelonas, one drawn with rulers, the other dreamed with fire. Now brace yourself. From Casa Milà, a 15-minute walk northeast brings you to the most spellbinding sight in the city, the beating, breathing heart of Gaudí's vision, the Sagrada Família. It's not just a church, it's a living cathedral that's been under construction since 1882, over 140 years, and still not finished. And yet, even in its incomplete form, it is divine. From afar, its spires rise like fingers reaching for God. Up close, the details are overwhelming. Every facade tells a different story of Christ's birth, his death, his glory. Statues, carvings, hidden messages. Even the shadows here have symbolism. Step inside and time stops. You don't walk in, you ascend. The columns branch like trees. The stained glass floods the space with ethereal light. And the silence? It's a cathedral's heartbeat. Gaudí once said, "The straight line belongs to man. The curve belongs to God." Here, curves bloom everywhere. Organic, mysterious, sacred. The Sagrada Família is set to be completed in the coming years. But part of its beauty lies in the wait, in watching a masterpiece unfold, slowly, like a prayer that's still being whispered. From Sagrada Família, a scenic 25-minute walk southeast leads you to a very different kind of monument, not religious, but triumphant. Welcome to the Arc de Triomphe. But wait, don't expect Napoleon's militaristic arches. This one, it's pure Barcelona. Built in 1888 as the gateway to the World Fair, it's a statement of openness, creativity, and peace. Made of warm red, brick and decorated with whimsical sculptures, it stands proud at the top of a long promenade lined with palm trees. It's where skaters show off, couples stroll hand in hand, and street performers turn sidewalks into stages. And here's a little secret. Stand beneath the arch, close your eyes, and clap your hands. The acoustics bounce your echo back like magic. It's a whispering wall in the middle of a city that never stops moving. The Arc de Triomphe isn't about war. It's about possibility, about a city that opened its arms to the world and never closed them again. Head just 5 minutes south, and you'll enter one of Barcelona's greenest treasures. Parc de la Ciutadella. This isn't just a park, it's a canvas. And everyone, here is a brushstroke. Artists painting by the lake. Children blowing bubbles the size of beach balls. Musicians improvising flamenco next to yoga groups. It's chaos, harmony, and joy, all stitched into 70 acres of green. But dig a little, deeper, and you'll find stories. The park was built on the ruins of a military citadel, hence the name Ciutadella. In 1888, it became the centerpiece of the World Fair, and since then, it's belonged to the people. Stroll along the wide boulevards, and you'll stumble upon the Cascada Monumental, a golden fountain so ornate it feels like a Roman fantasy. A young Gaudí helped design the hydraulics here long before he became the city's patron genius. There's a boating lake, a zoo, even a mammoth sculpture just chilling under the trees. Take a nap under a palm tree, watch the clouds, feed the ducks. Here, the city's heartbeat softens. In the Parc de la Ciutadella, even time takes a breath. From the green calm of Ciutadella, head northwest about 3.5 kilometers. And things start getting whimsical. Welcome to Park Güell, where logic goes on vacation and imagination runs the show. What was meant to be a luxury housing complex ended up becoming Gaudí's surreal garden of dreams. Colorful mosaics slither across benches like sunbathing lizards, columns lean like forest trunks, and the famous salamander, called El Drac, guards the staircase like a jewel-scaled dragon from a Catalan fairy tale. Everywhere you look, nature. And architecture melt into each other. The terraces feel like tree roots, the walkways like rivers, the rooftops like cupcakes straight out of a storybook. Gaudí lived just minutes from here. You can visit his old home, now a museum. This wasn't just a park for him. It was a sandbox for spiritual architecture, a place to explore how geometry, symbolism, and the natural world could live in perfect harmony. From the upper terrace, Barcelona stretches out below you, a patchwork quilt of colors and chaos. And as the sun sets, the mosaic tiles glimmer like a secret you're lucky to witness. Perched like a crown on the Collserola Ridge, just 6 kilometers northwest of Park Güell, Tibidabo watches over Barcelona like a quiet sentinel. At 512 meters high, it's the tallest mountain in the city, and a place where magic, faith, and vintage charm come together in perfect harmony. The journey up is part of the wonder. You'll take a tram, the nostalgic Tramvia Blau, and then switch to a century-old funicular that clanks and rattles its way up the steep slope, cutting through pine forests and pockets of crisp mountain air. At the summit, you're greeted by the Temple Expiatory del Sagrat Cor, a monumental church that seems to pierce the sky. With its neo-Gothic spires and a massive bronze statue of Jesus with outstretched arms crowning the dome, it's impossible not to feel moved, whether by faith, architecture, or simply the view. Climb the church towers and behold a 360-degree spectacle. The Mediterranean Sea, the rooftops of the Gothic Quarter, the curves of Montjuic. the silhouette of Sagrada Familia, all laid out like a living map. But Tibidabo doesn't stop at soul-stirring beauty. Right next to the church is the Tibidabo Amusement Park, one of the oldest in Europe, dating back to 1901. Here, time stands still. The rides, a century-old carousel, a charming airplane ride that swings you out over the city's edge, and a Ferris wheel that flirts with the clouds, are steeped in vintage whimsy. It's a place where you can hear a child's laughter echo alongside church bells, where romance and nostalgia ride hand in hand, and where every photograph looks like a movie still. Now, take a breath, because we're heading outside the city for something epic. Just an hour's drive northwest, the jagged silhouette of Montserrat National Park rises from the earth like a cathedral carved by giants. These aren't ordinary mountains, they're serrated. Montserrat literally means Sowed Mountain, and one look explains it all: a labyrinth of sharp limestone, peaks reaching for the sky, shrouded in mist, ancient legends, and awe. This isn't just a place for hikers, it's a spiritual refuge. The trails wind through silent woods, echoing with birdsong and distant bells. Along the way, hidden chapels emerge from the rock like whispers from centuries past. It's also home to wild goats, rare eagles, and a courting. To some, mystic energies that have drawn pilgrims and poets for generations. Some say the Holy Grail was hidden here. Others just come to find peace among the stone giants. Whether you climb, wander, or simply sit in the silence, Montserrat doesn't ask anything of you, except to be present. At the heart of this stone sanctuary, tucked into the mountains, embrace, lies the Montserrat Benedictine Abbey, a spiritual beacon that's as moving as the landscape around it. This is the Santa Maria de Montserrat Abbey, home to the legendary Black Madonna, or La Moreneta, a small wooden statue believed to have been carved in Jerusalem. Pilgrims travel from around the world to touch her hand, a gesture of devotion and hope. But even beyond faith, the abbey resonates. Gregorian chants echo through its halls every day, sung by the Escalania de Montserrat, one of the oldest boys' choirs in Europe. Their voices rise with the sun and fall with the mist, a soundtrack to the mountain's soul. Inside the basilica, gold glows in the candlelight, stained glass tells stories, and silence feels sacred. Step outside, and the valley unfolds beneath you. It's as if heaven pulled up a chair, sat down here, and never left. From the mountains to the Mediterranean coast, let's head 42 kilometers southwest to the coastal gem of Sitges, a town where bohemian spirit meets beachside bliss. Often called the Saint Tropez of Spain, Sitges is sun-drenched, sea-kissed, and art-soaked. The old town is a mosaic of whitewashed houses, flower-laced balconies, and cobbled alleys that slope gently toward the shimmering sea. But Sitges isn't just about beauty, it's about freedom. In the 20th century, it became a haven for artists, intellectuals, and dreamers. Today, its film festival is world famous. Spend a day on its golden beaches, explore the Cau Ferrat Museum, once the home of painter Santiago Rusiñol, or sip vermouth in a seaside cafe as the waves flirt with the shore. In Sitges, time doesn't pass, it lounges. Just an hour south of Sitges, where history greets the sea with ancient pride, Tarragona. Once the Roman capital of Hispania Superior, this city still carries the bones of an empire. The Roman amphitheater, set dramatically by the sea, once echoed with gladiator clashes and roaring crowds. Now it whispers stories to crashing waves, Wander through the old town, and you'll find medieval alleys wrapped around ancient columns. The Tarragona Cathedral, with its blend of Romanesque and Gothic styles, seems to grow out of time itself, but Tarragona isn't stuck in the past. Its golden beaches are just steps from 2,000-year-old ruins. Its restaurants serve fresh seafood beside marble relics, and every corner offers that magical mix of serenity and spectacle. As the sun sets over the Costa Dorada, Tarragona reminds you, history isn't something behind us. In Catalonia, it's something we live. Which of these wonders would you visit first? Or have we missed your favorite hidden gem? Let us know in the comments. Subscribe for more immersive journeys every week. And until next time, keep wandering, keep wondering.